That's the word. But not the kind whispered quietly after a tough loss. No, this is the thunderous kind that echoes through a franchise known for its glory, now dragging its legacy through the mud. The Dallas Cowboys' 2025 offseason has spiraled into something far worse than confusion. It's become a powder keg of egos, desperation, and decisions that feel less like strategy and more like panic. From ownership down to the players, there's a growing sense that the foundation is shaking. I'm Ethan Carter, and today we face the hard truth. This isn't just about cap space or a new running back. This is about identity. It's about whether this team, this star, still knows what it stands for. Fans want answers. Is the addition of a player like Rachaad White really the move that redefines the offense? Or is it just another patch on a ship that's already taking on water? White is versatile, no doubt. A dual threat, back with passing game upside, yes. But is he a tone setter? Is he the guy who, in January, when it's 3 aired and 2, and you're down by 4 with everything on the line, can dig in and carry a team forward? No, he's a smart chess piece. A role player. But the Cowboys need a knight, a queen, someone who can swing the game when everything else falls apart. This front office, in chasing value, might just be losing sight of vision. Then there's Micah Parsons. What started as a contract negotiation is now a public referendum on leadership and legacy. His declaration, "I'm going to get what's mine, no matter what," wasn't just a quote. It was a warning shot. And while it came from confidence, it echoed with discontent. Micah has every right to demand top-tier compensation. His numbers, his impact, and his versatility speak louder than any agent could. But the manner, the moment, and the message have rippled through the locker room in ways we can't ignore. It's no longer just about a salary, it's about trust. When your defensive anchor draws a line in the sand before training camp even begins, what does that say to the younger guys? What does that do to team chemistry? It forces a reckoning. The front office has a history of slow-playing big contracts, but Micah isn't playing games. And if the team fumbles this, if he begins to emotionally detach or questions whether the organization has his back, it won't just affect sacks or stats. It'll cut to the heart of the defense. You lose Micah mentally, and you might lose the soul of this unit entirely. And then we pivot to something that felt completely out of left field, a bold, speculative potential trade for Detroit's Jameson Williams. Now this is interesting, because unlike White, Williams isn't just a filler. He's lightning in cleats. He's the kind of player who, if developed right, becomes a game breaker. The kind of receiver who doesn't just catch passes, but changes the geometry of a defense. And if the Cowboys are truly considering pairing him with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, then it signals a profound shift in offensive philosophy. They're not just looking for options, they're looking to overwhelm. They want speed, vertical threat, spacing nightmares for defensive coordinators. But this also reveals something more volatile, a complete change in what they expect from Dak Prescott. Bringing in a trio like that is not about being safe, it's about being ruthless. It's a demand that Dak be more than solid. He has to be elite. And while that sounds exciting, it also adds pressure. Because if it doesn't work, if timing is off or egos don't blend, the offense could implode under the weight of its own ambition. This isn't Madden. This is reality. And building chemistry, rhythm, and trust doesn't happen just because names look good on paper. But amidst all of this, perhaps no situation is more concerning than the one surrounding Trayvon Diggs. $97 million. A Pro Bowl pedigree. And yet, silence. absence, a pattern that's become impossible to ignore. The team fined him $500,000 for failing to meet rehabilitation and participation standards. But the fine is just a symbol of something deeper, a growing disconnect. Diggs has become a ghost when the team needed a leader. His injuries, his isolation during recovery, and his lack of accountability have cast a long shadow over what was once a promising cornerstone of the secondary. And now, with Darren Bland rising and young cornerbacks like Shavon Revel pushing for a spot, Diggs' status is no longer guaranteed. The front office can opt out after 2025, and after the message they just sent, it feels like they're already preparing for that possibility. It's sad, because Diggs, at his best, is a game changer. But talent without commitment, without presence, is a liability. The Cowboys have made it clear, you're either all in or you're out. And for a team already walking the line between revival and collapse, they can't afford any passengers. Because that's what this season is about now. It's not just wins and losses. It's about control. Who truly holds the reins of the Dallas Cowboys? The players? The front office? Or is this just a rudderless ship powered by hype and nostalgia? This isn't just another season. This is a moment of reckoning, of cultural reset. If the Cowboys don't get this offseason right, they risk losing more than games. They risk losing their soul. But if, somehow, they align the vision, the voices, and the values, then maybe, just maybe, this star can shine again. So, I ask you, is this a championship team in waiting? Or a dynasty that's already slipped into memory? Let me know in the comments. And if you're still here, still riding for this team despite everything, then you, my friend, are the heartbeat of Cowboys Nation. And here's the most unsettling part. What if all of this noise, all of this dysfunction, all of these emotional fractures aren't just growing pains, but signs of a deeper erosion? Because, while the Cowboys still have one of the most talented rosters in the league on paper, what's happening off the field threatens to dismantle everything from the inside out. The locker room no longer feels like a unified front. It feels like a collection of isolated islands, Micah demanding respect on his own terms, Diggs distancing himself during rehab, Doc stuck in a pressure cooker with his future always in question, and Jerry Jones orchestrating it all from a nostalgic lens, hoping to recapture past glory while the modern NFL passes by with ruthless efficiency. You look at championship teams like the Chiefs or the 49ers, and what separates them isn't just talent, it's alignment. Everyone is rowing in the same direction. But in Dallas, it's every man for himself. And that's why fans are frustrated, because we're not just watching a football team, we're watching a legacy unravel in real time. It doesn't matter how many five-star talents you stack on a roster, if there's no trust in the building, if egos outweigh effort, and if leadership is more about branding than sacrifice. This season could either be the start of a new era with a re-centered culture and a ruthless hunger to prove the doubters wrong, or it could be the final act of a once proud franchise clinging to faded dreams. The line is thin, and the next few months will tell us everything.